Hello folks and welcome. Video for today is on BigLinux. It's a Manjaro based desktop distribution. KDE Plasma 52711 using a 6.6 series kernel, Linux kernel. It's an interesting desktop. I'll just give you a quick taste on some of the things, but today's video is all about if you are needing to know where the locations are for your mouse cursor installations. If they have failed installations, you need to either fix them or generally just know where they're located. You see that mouse cursor that I'm using, mouse pointer, it's got blue racing lights on it. I'll also show you toward the latter part of this video a website you can get over 800 of these kind of things to have a little fun. And that's what hopefully that's what my intent is today. I am filming in 1920 by 1080, so you can adjust your YouTube player accordingly. This looks very nice in 4K. And this is a very colorful distribution, and I'll give you some information on that distribution if you don't know too much about BigLinux. So again, filming in 1920 by 1080, adjust your YouTube player accordingly. I'm going to first give you a taste of some of the stuff in this desktop, and then we're going to go and check their information. And then I'm going to do a dive into your file manager, because these kind of things that I'm doing here, I usually use the file manager exclusively to install these things. And I'm going to talk about troubleshooting too. So let me give you some taste on some of their wallpapers, for instance. So hopefully you can see these colorful, and some of these are very cute also. Wallpapers or backgrounds. Just giving you a quick taste. All right. Their control center is a little different than a standard Plasma desktop. If you want a shortcut, you can do the light thing, dark thing. And I can also go with this setting and others. You also have the standard KDE control center. So if you're a fan of Plasma desktops, okay. And then I'm going to click in here for a second. So global themes, the mouse cursor I'm using today is called Xeon Blue. And most of this video is going to be in regards to if you're getting new cursors and they have possible failures. They don't display properly or whatever it might be. And at the same time, when you delete these things, when you install stuff manually, they're permanently gone. Versus when I use the file manager, I can actually do retrievals, in other words, to do a restore, in case I change my mind. These 4 are installed in a different location than this one is. That's why the trash can is grayed out. These are installed in USR share icons. That folder is protected by root permissions. Not really going to cover that. But I will cover up to where this one is installed. And I'll show you that location in a minute. All right, so let's get this out of the way. The distribution is called BigLinux. It's out of Brazil, Manjaro based. KDE Plasma is the only desktop live medium they do offer. Website is here. I'm going to translate that from Portuguese to English just for me. biglinux.com.br. Download section is here. 3.7 gigabytes, pick your choice, and more importantly, you can burn that onto a DVD or USB stick. Now I'm going to right click on this for a second and let you see the tools. And I put this up here, it's a PNG of Linux for Seniors. That's the name of the channel you're watching, at least I hope so. Maybe you are watching this on someone else's channel, because I have found my videos on someone else's channel, and I'm not going to utter that name here. But you should see that logo down here, roughly where your time and date is, with yellow brackets on it if you'd like to subscribe. I have many videos. If you don't see that and you're running this in full screen, go find me on YouTube. All right, the second reason I have this up here is I'm going to right click on this image to let you see some of the toys and tools that you get. It's not too bad. Nice to have those options. All right, KRunner is running in the background, so I'm going to type in CUR. It's just a shortcut. You can go through the standard big menu, but I'm just going to do it this way. So let's start with this box here. The first thing that I want you to be aware is the disclaimer up here. The contents available here has been uploaded by users like you and has not been reviewed by your distributor for functionality or stability. There's the keywords. So sometimes when you are installing things, some things don't go nicely. Now, I'm just going to tell you this right off the bat that I use nothing but the file manager for this kind of stuff. And I have a 99% success rate because I know what to look for and because I've been doing this for a while. But let's say you find a cursor theme or mouse pointer. Some people have different names for these things. And it doesn't install properly. Are you sunk? No. I'm going to show you how to fix some things. So I'm going to type in empty in here. Why is that? Because that's the name of the cursor. If you try to install this one here, as an example, it will install, except it won't function right because the developer had put in some commercials. All right, so you're picking your color. Like I'm going to show you yellow, but I have it pre-downloaded already from a website that I'm going to show you a little bit later. Like you can pick your colors, but anyways. And it'll install and you'll see it, and it'll more likely not have that yellow cursor on it. It'll more likely look like that. And this box will be blank. And you can switch to it, and then as soon as you click in and out of here, you'll see it disappear. But it won't disappear in your Dolphin file manager. So I'm going to talk about some troubleshooting also in this video. I also install cursors in bulk, meaning more than one at a time. So you may find this handy. All right, so I already talked about resizing images, those nice little tools, and you won't see those if I just right click on the file manager. So I'm going to open up the file manager and let's talk about some settings. So first of all, these are probably too small for you. My screen is 43 inches, but you can't see that on YouTube. So you can use the standard drag zoom, but I'm going to hold down my control key while scrolling up. Why? Because I'm using a standard computer mouse with a scroll wheel. I'm using a tower computer, it's not a laptop. I'm using a fairly standard wireless keyboard and computer mouse with a scroll wheel. That's not the reason I'm talking about all this. I'm just telling you how I resize the icons. So show hidden files. The keyboard command is Control-H. It's very common with all modern Linux file managers. Control-H it is. I'll go full screen. All right, so there's lots of hidden stuff in here that just got activated between Control-H that and Control-H this. All right, so anytime you see stuff like this, it has a dot in front of it. Now, if you don't know what Z history is, it's the history of your commands in here, because this is using Z instead of bash. All right, so even if I type in history here, those are the commands I just performed. They're also recorded here in this file. All right, so I am going to basically hit Control-A and hit delete to wipe all those out. Just a brief example of where your history is, something in your file manager. Now if I type in history here, you'll see nothing except the command history. So I'll plug in some extra numbers here in a second, but I'm going to open this up for you just to see that word history in here. Now you know where that's located. I'll just give you a couple of examples. Here's cal, here's the free command, that's how much RAM you have in swap file. I'll just do a du, and how about an ls, and then exit. So all those commands were recorded here in dot or period Z history, and you can see them right there. All right, not a big deal. Just wanted to let you know where that file is while I was still in here. So this is the folder that we're talking about, or directory, that has the mouse cursor installed called Xeon Blue. Okay? And more importantly, I'm going to back this out. If you are missing this folder, you can create it manually. So create folder. Just make sure you start with a period or a dot, and you name it exactly the same. However, I'm going to pull that down for a second. I'm going to click out and type in CUR to open up the cursor field. Again, this is in the appearance section under cursors. Let's say you successfully install a new cursor from get or install. Then it will look for this folder called period icons. If it's not there, it generates it. It's pretty common with most Linux distros. So at the same time, it generates the folder and then it puts in whatever theme you have. So your period icons, or dot icons I call it, should have nothing but containers and no scattered files. If you see scattered files, something didn't install correctly. However, I don't install these through here, just to let you know. I do mine differently. So as in the example earlier, I typed in empty and I showed you how you could possibly do that, but it normally doesn't install properly because the developer used commercials. So that's the file, and these all came from the same website that I'm about to show you in a couple of minutes. But I'm going to take the opportunity to install them first, and then I'll take you on a tour of that particular website, and my own if you like. If you're not a subscriber, I can point out some videos on how to do simple searches also. All right, so we're going to extract these, and as you can see, they're in different formats. tar BZ2, tar GC, GZ, regular tar, zip, and zip. Okay, I'm going to right-click and extract here and see if it extracts into a nice container. It did. That's what you want. You should have a nice folder, a nice container that has 2 files, and I don't care if it's got extra stuff. These are the 2 bare minimums, which is index and cursor. What's in this file? Well, the name of the cursor for one. This is called Skyrim. All right, so we're done with that one. So the next one here doesn't normally like to extract nicely when you do it this way, because it extracts it using a cursor and index theme. I could fix this problem by creating a folder. Then I can call it radioactive and pull that and that into that folder. But I'm going to do it differently. So I'm going to delete that because it's not in a nice container. All right, I'm going to right click and use the arc tool and extract, because you want the cursor and index theme in a folder. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you. So that is now radioactive in a nice container with the index and cursor theme. So we're done with that one. So Pokemon, I'm going to right click and extract here. Okay, that extracted into a nice folder. So we're done with that one. So that's a tar. If you don't know what tar files are, tape archive. So that's a tar.gz. That's compressed. This is not. So I'm going to first open this with the arc tool and pull it out. And it will extract it out into that. So now I'm going to right click and again open this, and it has the cursor and index theme and something else. And now I have Night Diamond Red from that. Yeah, and you notice the other file is gone from that when I did the first extraction. All right, but in either case, if is 4 enough, good enough for right now? Okay. So I'm going to click that one, hold down my control key, and then click, 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 and do a right click and cut. So all 4 of those are going to be transferred into here. So that's my first example for you. So I just installed an additional 4 themes, 4 mouse cursors. Some people have different names for these kind of things. They're all in nice containers, there's no scattered files, and all of them have something in common. A cursor folder and an index theme. Again, that's just where the name is located on a lot of these, with a couple of extra lines. And that's what your system needs to identify these things. Okay, index, cursor, you get the idea. All right, I'm going to go through a different route this time. I'm going to open up Control Center. We can type in for that, or we can go to System. A KDE Control Center is what I just clicked on, and then Appearance, and then Cursors. It's the same location as me doing that through KRunner. Radioactive looks like this, and it's resizable up to 24 through 96. For you folks that don't know the difference between the sizes, that has a lot to do with also your screen resolution. So if you're using low screen resolutions, I'm talking about numbers well below 1080, then some of the smaller numbers may work well for you. However, some people that go north of a 4K, you're using 4K monitors, the bigger cursors obviously are your better choices. Okay? This one here is not resizable. It's blank. That cursor there is only available in a 32. And so I'm filming in 1920 by 1080, so if I switch this to 4K, it'll look like a tiny red dot. But it looks pretty well in 1080, but it will look even bigger if I go less than 1080. Let's put it that way. Pokemon is another one that goes to 96. Hit apply. And you can see the jumbo sizes on that thing. It goes from 22 to 96. And the last one is Skyrim. That one goes from 24 to 64. Now, I want you to notice one important thing, because anytime you change cursors, I started filming with Xeon Blue, and it's still here. The reason I'm getting remnants of my new and old is because I haven't done this yet. At a bare minimum, you should log out and back into your system if you changed a mouse cursor, if not a restart. I'm going to say this one more time. If you change your mouse cursor, hit apply, log out of your system and log back in, and it should retain it. Otherwise, you'll get the same effect like I'm doing right now. Now, if I switch to this, you will see that it's not switching because I started with this cursor. Now let me continue. Let's go back to the file manager and to downloads and do some more. These are special, the ones that I told you had some troubles. So I'm going to extract this one out like your system would normally do. And it looks fine. It's in a container, yes. But when I open it, it doesn't have an index theme here. It's got a commercial. That's the problem with this theme. Okay, and you will find this same thing if you go through the automated installer. You will find the same file here in your period icons folder, just like it is. Okay, so it looks like he's asking for a donation here, and then if you open this, there's another one, Buy Me Coffee. But he does do one more thing for you. He put in a nice README file to tell you how to fix this. Just move the empty butterfly VR5 folder to your .icons folder, which can be confusing because this is also called the same thing, right? So a lot of people will give up on this thing. Here's my index and cursor theme. Going up one, right click, cut, and paste. Let's double check this. Index and cursor theme. This one, not so much. Delete. Right click, cut, and place. Pulling this down, and oh, I left that file open, I'm sorry. Let me get rid of that. Well, anyways, that's the instructions of how to do that, just in case you missed my video. And but most people don't know how to look in there. All right, so I'm going to just click out for a second and type in CUR and let KRunner do its job. And you can see it now. And I will go with Jumbo, just so you can see it. This is a see-through mouse pointer, except the yellow lines. You can see the word splash screens right through it. Okay. So this normally does not install if you get new cursors because the developer has commercials. It's nothing to do with BigLinux. Okay, so let's go fix the other one. This one is green. Same thing, extract here. Open that up, find that folder right there and cut it. And this time I'm just going to go directly in here and do a paste. And that's the green. I'm just making sure that it has index and cursor. If it has that commercial, then redo that. Okay, so this time I'm just going to close that. Is that still open? No, that's my simple screen, sorry. CUR. And there's the green version of that. In a 96. Now I'm going to throw you for a loop. I'm going to delete all of them, except for the ones that are installed in USR Share Icons and Xeon Blue, because I'm going to leave that one because I'm started the video in it. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about maintenance, right? So you can see that this thing is still kind of freaking out, but it should settle down now. All right, we're going to go into the trash can and make sure it's empty because I'm going to do a complete restore on these things. So again, Control H displays that, right? Period icons, dot icons. This time I'm going to do a different way of selecting things. I'm going to just click and drag and go across. It selects all of them. I'm going to hit delete. And then I'm going to pull that down because I'm just going to leave this. Pardon me. More coffee here. CUR. Now you can see that I'm back to default except for Xeon Blue. All right, I'll leave that one up. Trash can time. That's the beauty of this. Instead of using this, I use my file manager to delete these. So whatever's your choice. Do you want to restore all of them or just some of them? Because you're test driving, right? You're trying out different cursors. Well, if you just want the one, then you can just do that. But in my case, I'm going to do all of them. Restore. If you left the screen open, like I did here, then you'll need to do a screen refresh. And the quickest way you can do that is just to click up one and then back. One, back. And now they're all back online. Hopefully this is all clear to you. Using your file manager is a wonderful way to install these. But where do you get them? If you're unfamiliar with my channel, first of all, I'm going to introduce Linux for Seniors. And more importantly, how many videos are on this channel? 341 currently. This is not the first time I've done videos. I had a previous channel with 450 videos. That channel is closed. In here, you can read my mission statement. I'll get to that in a second. But if you're using a standard web browser, you should have a magnifying glass next to the Community tab. Not this one. This one here does searches within inside of my YouTube site for keywords, like BigLinux maybe. Because that's not my first video. Here's one from 4 months ago. Cute little cat lifting. Very colorful. All right, click in here. You can read about my mission statement, but more importantly, we have some links for you. It doesn't matter if you click on GNOME or xfce-look. I actually pinged that server just last 2 or 3 weeks ago. They answered to the same number. So that means they're sharing. So I'll go to gnome-look.org just to give you some examples. All right, I'm going to make this very large. The cursor says 849. Okay, I'll click that for a second. And then I'm going to go to my own YouTube site and click on xfce-look and let that open up in a web browser also. There's 849 also in here. Now I'm going to switch between the two. You see the commonality here? Okay. So I'll go back a little bit. So you have lots of choice. Hey, here's that empty butterfly right in here. So you could download it from here also. Anyways, 849. You can also use searches. So find something you like and download it. You can also do this by ratings. So if you want the Oreo cursors, click that. And find your color. I have 19 of them. These are in tar.gz, so here's red, white, blue, blah, blah, blah. So if you are, let's say you're wanting the red cursor for whatever reason. This particular sponsor is going to give this developer of this theme a menu tip. That's a wonderful thing. I'm going to download that one because we're going to install it at the same time. So in here also is a wonderful explanation about what I've been talking about. If you type in radioactive or radio, the yellow cursor I showed earlier has a wonderful explanation right in here. I'll make this larger for you. Forget about this part. I've been explaining your home folder has a period icons folder for your standard installations. I also made mention of something where your regular mouse cursors are installed, which is USR share icons, if you recall. That folder is not hidden. It is protected by root permissions, though. On my previous channel, I used to show how to install stuff in there. I don't anymore. All right, we have something sitting in here in my downloads, and I'm going to make this go full screen. So Oreo red cursor is the last file I downloaded. Okay, it's in tar.gz, so let's try standard extraction. All right, Oreo red cursor, right click, cut, and let's take a peek at it. It's installed. Let's first of all check it. Index cursor theme should be fine. CUR, because I'm using KRunner for a shortcut. So let me go find it. Oreo red looks like that. And that is also only available in two sizes, a 32 and 64. So it kind of covers this large spectrum. And I'm using the 64. The 32 will look like that. A little tiny. So if you have this in 4K, this will almost get lost. Switching back to here. And more importantly, when you get done, you don't like the theme, you don't like the cursor theme, you start deleting. 1, 2, 3, 4, or all of them, whichever. They're all gone. Verification. They're all gone. Trash can. Full restore, close. In and out, they're all back online. Thank you for watching.